going to be a statement in the economic policy of government. Earlier on, we're wondering whether it is going to come in a form of a motion. If it's presented in a form of a motion, then it means that the members of the House will then have to debate on what the Minister of Finance comes to tell them. But per the business of today, that is the itinerary the House is going to work with next week. The mid-year budget will be a statement. And so on Tuesday, August 1 and Wednesday, August 2, the minister's statement would be then put before the House, and members would be given a chance to make comments brief comments on the statement as so that will be presented. The chairman and ranking members of the Finance Committee will be given 15 minutes to talk on the statement on Tuesday and Wednesday, while all other members will be given 10 minutes to talk, as is the practice of the House. The Speaker will then be furnished with names of members who would comment on the budget statement, the mid-year budget statement that will be presented. Again, such comments will basically come from the chair and ranking on the various committees, because the anticipation is that the minister would be speaking on different sectors of the economy. Again, we are not so sure whether the minister will come with supplementary budget estimate. If that should happen, then it means that probably it most definitely will come in the form of a motion, so that the members would adequately debate on it, and the various committees might also have to look at it before they will approve or otherwise of any supplementary budget estimate that is to be presented. But that hasn't been indicated, so we are all waiting for Monday to see what exactly the minister would tell the House.
Augustus, is meeting with the House before the reading of the budget the norm? If no, can you tell us why you think this has become necessary?
Well, I wouldn't say this is out of the ordinary, because the Minister of Finance, from time to time, is asked to appear before Parliament. So most of the time, too, he might not come to answer questions himself, but the deputies might come. But in terms of the plenary of the House, after meeting the whole House, it doesn't really happen that often. But I don't think this is so much out of the norm. They meet the Finance Committee from time to time, especially when it comes to tax waivers or other requirements that the ministry needs from Parliament. Then they will have to meet the Finance Committee. If so referred to by the Speaker, then they will transact. But in terms of coming to meet the members of the House, it's not a regular occurrence, so it is really not out of the norm. Because I think it's also good because it will allow members of Parliament and the minister to be on one page before the mid-year budget is presented. Again, it's not only the Minister of Finance that something like that has happened. If you were to recall, the EC was also requested to meet the House before any new planned CI is made before the House. And so when the EC came to meet the House, the Speaker, someone had to come to meet the House so that members of Parliament could make input into any proposed CI that might come. That also makes the work of Parliament easier, because by then, if you bring it, then you are already capturing the sense of the House. And so you don't really have much difficulty scrutinizing any statement or report that will bring to them.
Thank you very much, Augustus. That was our parliamentary correspondent, Augustus Akwe, observing proceedings of the House, where the Minister for Finance, Mr. Ken Ofori-Atta, would be having a meeting with members of the House before the reading of the mid-year budget scheduled for Monday, July 31, 2023. Still in Parliament, the Speaker, Mr. Alban Bagbin, says Parliament has not legalized the use of cannabis, popularly called marijuana, during sitting on Thursday. The Speaker said the passage of the Narcotics Control Commission Amendment Bill 2023 does not connote or legalize the recreational use of smoking of cannabis. Mr. Bagbin was reacting to misinterpretation of the passage of the bill by the public. The House on July 12, 2023 passed the Narcotics Control Commission Amendment Bill 2023, bringing significant changes to the cultivation of cannabis for industrial and medicinal purposes. The amended bill gives the Ministry of Interior the authority to issue licenses for the cultivation of cannabis, thereby enabling the utilization of this plant for various beneficial applications.
And various social media discussions revolving around the legality of cannabis, it is imperative to understand and underline that the intention of this provision is not to endorse or legalize the recreational use or smoking of cannabis. The second schedule of the Act remains in full force, detailing an extensive list of penalties for unlawful activities associated with narcotics. Further, the sixth schedule of the Act unambiguously categorizes cannabis as a narcotic drug. These provisions underline our unwavering stance against the illicit use of narcotics, while simultaneously recognizing their potential for beneficial industrial and medicinal application. I reiterate, the cultivation, the manufacture, the processing, the production, the sale, the distribution, or the use of narcotic plants, including weed, marijuana, or synthetic or semi-synthetic drug, without lawful authority remains an offense and is punishable by our laws. I therefore call on the law enforcement authorities to continue to investigate, to prosecute, and to commit offenders to the sanctions of the law.
Accusing someone of witchcraft in Ghana presently attracts a jail term of 5 years following the passage of the witchcraft bill. Again, witches' camp across the country will be disbanded, and the Gender and Social Protection Ministry has been tasked with the responsibility to integrate inmates in those camps back into society. Parliament on Thursday passed a law criminalizing the declaration, accusation, naming or labeling of another person as a witch in Ghana. The amendment, which was approved on Thursday, also prohibits any person from practicing as a witch doctor or witch finder. In 2021, 3 members of Parliament introduced the Private Members Bill to amend the Criminal and Other Offences Act 1960, Act 29, to prohibit the practice by any person as a witch doctor or witch finder. Northern Regional Correspondent Mutala Issa joins us live in a chat with Dr. Esther Ofei Abuaje, the Programs Manager of ActionAid.
Thank you very much, Michelin. And we are coming to you live from Tamale. And yes, indeed, the issue of witchcraft accusations is quite widespread in the northern half of the country. By background, we have 6 camps. I understand at least 1 has been disbanded, and 2 have been disbanded. As I speak to you, just 2 months ago, 2 persons were accused of being witches in a community in the Myong district, and they were lynched. As we speak to you, the police have arrested some 8 persons, and they are in custody, facing trial. Just a few weeks back again, some persons who accused a 90-year-old woman in Kafaba and caused her death, Madame Ekuya Dente, whose death caused some considerable concerns around the world, were sentenced to 12 years each. in terms of the witchcraft accusation. So it is something that is endemic in this region. Over the years, campaigners, including Action Aid, have been working together to ensure that this bill finally comes to fruition. Fortunately for us today, we have one of the main architects here, Madam Esther Boateng, who works with Action Aid, one of the major campaigners for the anti-witchcraft bill. Thank you very much, and good afternoon. Thanks for speaking to us on Ghana Television.
Good afternoon.
Now, first of all, I want to pick your reaction to the promulgation of this new law.
We are very, very happy and we are satisfied because after years of working at this camp and also started working with Parliament on this, at long last, our work has yielded the needed impact.
So, yielded the needed impact. One would ask the question, just 2 months ago, you heard about the lynching of 2 persons in Mion. How serious is this issue, and how will the law address the problems that we face in this region?
It's very serious in northern region. Looking at how people accuse people without any reason. For me, this bill is a signal to those who have been doing that. They should watch out. Accusing people without justification can land you in jail. So for all what we are saying is that people should be well educated on what is in the bill so that they can be careful on how they accuse people of witchcraft.
Exactly my next question about beyond the promulgation of this law. We have at least some 6 witches camps in the northern, northeast, and Savannah region. What do we make or what do we do with these camps, and what happens to the inmates? I know you have been making efforts in the past to disband some of these camps. What becomes of the inmates?
We are still working in the camp, and this bill is in existence. We will still be working in the camp to reintegrate those who are there and close down the camps. What we are going to do now is if the president assented to this bill and it can act, that is where our work even begins. Sensitizing the community, sensitizing everybody to know what is actually in the bill. So for Action Aid and other partners we are working with, we are going to now make sure that we get simpler versions of the bill, go to the community, have community dialogues, and we are not resting. This is just the beginning of our work on this anti-witchcraft bill.
Micheline, it is a Herculean task ahead of all stakeholders in the northern region because we are talking of a population that has a high level of illiteracy rate, just like many parts of this country. And translating this into the various languages to get people to appreciate what the situation is key. I want to believe that even when this finally is brought to its fruition, the issues we see, even in some churches where persons are accused of witchcraft, I believe this will also cater for such situations.
Yes, and it's not only for northern region. For me, I must say the bill cuts across the whole country. So those who are in prayer camps, those who are in fetish priests, everything. And even this bill talked about if you are a soothsayer or you are culpable, then it means you want to accuse somebody. So all these people are part, and it's not only in northern region. So people should be well prepared to get knowledge, well educated on the bill so that they will not fall.
Madam Esther Aboagye is the programs manager. Esther Boateng, I beg your pardon, is the programs manager for Action Aid in the northern region. Micheline, it is they are elated here for the northern region because I have personally witnessed some cases of severe torture of women 80 years, 90 years who are abandoned, not just those that are killed, but who are abandoned, ostracized by their families from the warmth of their homes and from their livelihoods. It is expected that this bill will go a long way to address the grievances that people go through. Madam, your final words before we hand over to the studio.
Yeah, I must say that we appreciate the work of Parliament, especially the Speaker, Honorable Francis Sosu, and also Honorable Godfrey Sedu, the MP for Wa East and the MP for Medina. They've done very well. We've worked with them throughout this, and we are happy. All what we want to tell Mr. President, you have to be fast on sending your signature on this bill for it to become an act, then our work starts. So we are very happy today. ActionAid want to thank all those who help us in working on this bill. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And
that was our Northern Regional correspondent, Mutala Issa. The Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, GPHA, says its security patrol boat had no encounter with a fishing boat on Thursday, July 27, 2023, which reportedly resulted in the unfortunate death of 2 fishermen. According to GPHA, the security patrol team, which comprises the Ghana Navy, Marine Police and GPHA Security, timeously responded, cautioned and asked the said fishing boats to leave. A statement signed by the Marketing and Public Affairs Manager of GPHA, Ms. Abnasewa Opoku Fosu, explained that the port control station received a distress call on Wednesday, July 26, 2023 from MVC Span Dubai for assistance to ward off several fishing boats that had surrounded their vessel. According to the statement, the patrol team on their way back chanced upon another set of fishermen who had cast their nets and were fishing within the Terminal 3 basin close to a container vessel. The nets were seized and the men were cautioned and led out of the basin. The GPHA indicated that there was no direct contact or collision between the GPHA boat and the fishing boat in question. The statement added that the unfortunate death of the 2 fishermen was not caused by any action involving the GPHA and urged the public to disregard purported media reports. 2 out of 12 fishermen who reportedly went fishing got drowned on their return from the expedition. Although it's the closed fishing season, the fishermen went to sea as part of the customary rites preceding the annual Homowo in Tema. The 2 bodies, according to our Tema regional correspondent, Michael Dewonu, were washed ashore on Thursday morning and has since been deposited at the morgue. The commemoration of the 2023 World Viral Hepatitis Day is underway with screening and vaccination for hepatitis B and C ongoing in parts of the capital, Cape Coast and Ho. The global burden of viral hepatitis in Ghana is alarming as awareness about the disease is low. Access to services and treatment costs are also a challenge. Only 10% of people with chronic hepatitis B are diagnosed, of which only 22% receive treatment. For hepatitis C, only 21% of people with the infection are diagnosed, with 62% of those diagnosed receiving treatment to cure them. A recent maternal hepatitis B survey conducted indicated that 8.7% of pregnant women have viral hepatitis B, which also puts their babies at risk. Joining via Zoom is the program's manager, National Viral Hepatitis Control Program, Dr. Achu Siake Kwau. Hello, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon, madam.
Thank you so much for making time for News Hour.
Thank you.
Before we go into details, awareness, as we know already, is low. How do you explain hepatitis to anyone out there?
To explain hepatitis, we have to realize that one of the major organs in the body is the liver. So hepatitis is a disease or infection affecting the liver, which causes the liver to be swollen. And over the long term, the liver becomes shrunken and may develop hepatocellular carcinoma. So this disease is, this swelling or the disease state is actually due to viral hepatitis or viruses which cause hepatitis. These viruses in our context are particularly B and C because these ones, when they affect the liver, you might not even be aware and you might not seek treatment. Over time, while you are not aware of this, complications in terms of chronic changes in the liver would occur and put your life at risk. So basically, when we talk of hepatitis, on this day, we are mainly interested in the chronic forms, which are B and C, even though we have those that cause acute, A and E, they are also there, but these are water and sanitation related, while B and C plus D are related to infected body fluids that one comes into contact with. And surely, when the baby is about to be delivered, it comes into contact with the mother's body fluids and blood, and this puts the baby at risk of viral hepatitis, to which about, if you have 100 such babies, 95% will progress to chronic hepatitis over time, and as they grow, they are at risk of cirrhosis and hepatocellular or liver cancer. Thank you.
Statistics are overwhelming, but yet knowledge is less. Why is this so? What are the barriers?
Yes, we think knowledge is not as much as should be because one, many people do not even think that there is a disease like this. And it's also an area where knowledge is changing, more information is becoming available rapidly, and people are not able to catch up with the things that are going on in the, as far as the disease is concerned. But more importantly, of course, awareness campaigns like we are doing today are not very much common because of financing and other challenges. So the information is really not getting down to the people who need it to be able to act.
Indicates that to service and cost of treatments of hepatitis are considered a challenge. Why is it so?
Yes, testing and treatment can be quite expensive because one, if you take hepatitis B, for instance, it's a disease that once you have it, you need to be in contact with your doctors who will be seeing you every 6 months or yearly to make sure that they detect the time at which you may need to be put on treatment, or if you are going to develop any complications that put you at risk, they can pick it quite early. Each of these assessments they do is money. Beyond that, when the decision is made to put a patient on treatment, the cost of treatment is high. Apart from that, treatment is lifelong. So because it's lifelong, when you cumulate it, the cost of treatment can be quite high for the lifetime of a person once he begins to take treatment. For hepatitis C, for instance, we know also that cost of diagnosis is quite high because the investigations, the blood tests, liver function tests, imaging that you do, and viral load cost a lot of money. Viral load in this country costs an equivalent of about $100 or more, which many ordinary people cannot afford. Then the medicines had been very, very expensive, about $1,000 equivalent. You can talk about 10,000 Ghana cedi, it is thereabouts. And until recently that the government intervened with free medicines for hepatitis C, many patients are really unable to procure a cure with a 12-week course of treatment with these medications. But I must say that for hepatitis C, the situation is a little better now, and we pray it continues to remain so for patients, except that assessments, investigations, and viral load, and all the tests that patients have to do before they are put on treatment is still a big barrier that we need to overcome.
Very well.
So,
Doc, quickly, can you...
hepatitis is an expensive disease. Even psychologically, it's quite expensive.
Quickly, before we wrap up, can you just brief us on how to prevent and protect our livers from viral hepatitis? Quickly.
Yes, one of the major preventions for mother-to-child transmission is hepatitis B birth dose introduction, which as a nation, we have to give it a very high priority, and I'm glad it's receiving a lot of attention. Decisions are being made. We also need to make sure that we practice good infection prevention practices. It's also important to make sure you know your status. You test and know your status so that if there's the need to get vaccinated, as an adult, you can receive vaccination. Contaminated needles should not be reused on other people. And we need to make sure our sexual partners are also safe and we are also safe.
Thank you very much,
I
Doc.
believe with these measures, we can overcome the disease.
Thank you very much. We are grateful for your time. That was the Programs Manager, National Viral Hepatitis Control Program, Dr. Achu Siake Kwawu. The High Court in Accra will be deciding on a contempt case against the Minister for Trade and Industry, Mr. K.T. Hammond, on October 19, 2023. Mr. James Gyakye Quayson, the Member of Parliament for Assin North in the Central Region, filed a writ at the High Court citing Minister Hammond for contempt over comments in an interview he granted to a private television station over Mr. Gyakye Quayson's ongoing legal trial. The court has ordered the parties to file their written submissions by close of Monday, July 31, 2023.
I had already come to court on this matter, and the court ordered that if we have to file any process, we need to do that before 25th of July. And so we file our supplementary affidavit on the 25th of July. Today we are back in court, and the court has stated that we should file written addresses. He doesn't want oral submissions. We should file our written addresses on the 1st of August, but return to court on the 19th of October for the ruling.
You're watching NewsHour live on GBC News, your news and governance channel. The Adisadel College student who was captured in a viral video assaulting his colleague is expected in court today, July 28, 2023. The student was arrested by the police in Cape Coast earlier this week, cautioned with causing harm and assault, and then released to the school's headmaster to be produced in court on Friday. The arrest came after the video showed the disturbing incident where one student violently attacked another in a dormitory. The authorities are taking swift action to address the incident and hold the perpetrator accountable for his actions. Meanwhile, the victim has been recalled to the school after he was initially suspended. The school is taking measures to ensure his well-being and recovery. Our Central Regional Correspondent Kingsley Nanabwedu was in court today, and he's on the phone lines to give us an update. Hello, Kingsley. Kingsley, what happened in court today? Kingsley, can you hear me? Well, we are trying to reach our Central Regional Correspondent, Kingsley Nanabwedu, to give us an update on what happened in court today with regards to the Adisadel College arrest after a viral video showed one student assaulting another in a dormitory. Hello, Kingsley.
Hello, good afternoon.
Kingsley, what happened in court today?
All right, thank you very much. Like you already indicated, the 17-year-old boy at this school student, of course, who was found in a video that of all went by assaulting his men in the dormitory was arraigned for the Cape Coast District Court 2 this morning. I must indicate that the media was not allowed in because it was in Juvenile. The court decided that everybody is out of the courtroom, and the presiding judge, who is in worship and the community in sports chapel, decided that the hearing should be done in December, which of course it is. What happened was that the case was adjourned to the 2nd of August, that is last month, where a panel, because it's a juvenile matter, a panel of 3 who the of course are going to listen to the matter. But the prosecutor of the matter, who is John Aftayimejiaka, indicated that or prosecuted the boys on charges of action and other things, but the judicial action and of course deciding on conspiracy action. And those charges are declared. The boy has been granted a bail to appear on the 2nd of August, as I have indicated. But I must indicate that both the victim and the perpetrator were all in court together with their parents, and it was something else. The demeanor of the perpetrator, of course, you can see some remorseness and all of that. That is what, of course, we saw, of course, from afar when, of course, we saw the boys coming from the judges. So it's been observed to taking after for the boy to reappear for the hearing, so that will give the court time to put together a panel of 3 to listen to the matter.
The victim is back in school. How is he, and have you been able to reach him yet?
Come again, you said the victim?
The victim is back in school. Have you, by any chance, had a talk with him so far, or you're yet to do that?
Well, I must indicate that not only the victim, the perpetrator is also in school. Because the directive from the CES and the Ministry of Education, especially the Deputy Minister who was here yesterday, to speak with the teachers and speak with the entire student body, and particularly the boys who were in the committee and the board involved, indicated that, yes, the incident has already happened. These are minors. They are writing their exams. So the 2 of them are in school, but under certain supervision, so they can study and write their exams. So both of them are in school. The 2 of them all with their parents appear in court today. But yesterday, what happened was that the deputy minister, of course, came with the CES officials and counseled to speak with the boys, counseling them about what has happened. Because the name of Alexander had gone everywhere. The boys didn't expect that. So the anticipation is that they are traumatized, especially the first 3 ones that are just preparing towards their exam. So he saw that they set counseling sessions. So they brought in counselors to speak with them. And of course, he spoke with the students, the house master, consulting them for the job they are doing. Let's type all of it. And everybody will continue and put, of course, the disciplinary measures to serve some of this. But Professor, if you ask me, what we hear on ground, especially in Cape, where most of the big schools are, these things are just a tip for the iceberg. The students in most of the schools, this thing happens. And the headmasters, the house masters are fathers, and the parents of the school sometimes try to manage it, try to counsel them, try to do their best. Because if all the issues and if all the things that happen in school should come out, most of the schools that we claim they are first class and they are best schools will be closed down. And of course, it is not only schools in Cape Coast, it is schools across the country. Things are heard yesterday about what happened there. Some of these things are just small. And the house master in question, he is one of the teachers almost all the teachers are at this school are commending Haley that he's somebody who is very dedicated and committed to students' welfare. And they are all crying and they are surprised if anything shouldn't happen, it can happen to somebody like him. And of course, that is what it is. So the boys are there, they will be reappearing. But I must say that things are happening in the school. So the DES, the ministry, need to put in stringent measures. And I know the investigation has started. But you know, because the perpetrator was the sanctions on him were lifted because already the case has been sent to court and they need to investigate it. There's a committee investigating it. And according to the police, they will be needing the perpetrator to be helping them in the investigation. So if you should go home, it will be difficult for the investigation. And they want to use it as a test case to set a standard, a certain disciplinary standard for most of the schools. So that is one reason why the perpetrator is still in school under certain supervision and certain restrictions.
Kingsley, that was our Central Regional Correspondent, Kingsley Nanabuedu, who was in court today to observe proceedings of the case against the Yadisada College student who was captured in a viral video assaulting his colleague. You're watching News Hour live on GBC News, your news and governance channel. Time to take a quick break. We'll be back with more stories. Please do stay.
It's a nightmare dealing with the filth in Accra. The gutters are choked with garbage.
Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to Business. Cost of food in Ghana increased to 54.20% in June 2023 compared to 51.8% in May. Commodities such as fish and cereals were among the highest food inflation contributors. A visit by GBC News to the Medina market, however, indicate that prices of food items such as tomatoes are gradually on a decline.
Price inflation remains high around the world. According to the World Bank, between February 2023 and May 2023, inflation rose more than 5% in 61.1% of low-income countries, 79.1% of lower middle-income countries, and 70% of upper middle-income countries, with many experiencing double-digit inflation. In addition, 78.9% of high-income countries are experiencing high food price inflation. In real terms, food price inflation exceeded overall inflation in 79.8% of the 163 countries where data was available to the World Bank. In Ghana, inflation rose slightly for the second month running to 42.5% in June 2023 from 42.2% in May. The rise in inflation was largely driven by rising prices of food and beverages, which rose to 54.2% from 51.8% in May. On a visit to the Medina market, an onion trader, Fuseila Ahmed, said the prices of onions from countries such as Niger adds on to the price of the commodity when imported, which is also passed on to the customer. According to Azumi Ibrahim, who trades in cereals, most commodities in the country are becoming more expensive as fertilizer prices have shot up, while tools and machinery to aid agriculture are mostly unavailable. A trader insulted tilapia, Madam Georgina Amwa, said fisher folks complain about the high cost of nets to go fishing as well as the high cost of premixed fuel. She says this has made the prices of fish quite expensive.
The petrol, Mr. Premise, and the koyi namuno. Na sisi ano premise insu ni hobium. Na cotton swa nya. Yensu ye ba ye kofaba yen to minton. Inti ama bibia ye basa. First no ye ton 10 cedi. Ebi o 5 cedis. Enso ene. Nyamisi yankasa 1.2.
The situation is not all that gloomy, as traders in tomatoes say the price of the commodity is gradually reducing. Ekwa Blessing and Abnata gave reasons for this.
They say the ampa no wati kakra. Eche first no boy di. Yet me turn 40 million, 45. They say there ye 15, you 40.
Me see that I diba from near. Every time we dia baby kakra ni nyina piepie nti esa na ba fom de omuji ye na no muji ye ti ya ti sukura sa no muji ye ya fa box ba ko from CMB hodi baha ba ko bia 50 Ghana.
Some traders and tubers at the market also hinted of a reduction in prices of the commodity, as tubers such as yam and cassava will soon experience a glut when they are in season.
We'll go to the Interbank Forex market and bring you updates on how the city is performing. We also bring you updates on latest prices of major commodities on the international market. The international news is after this break. You stay with us.
It is a nightmare dealing with the
Layoka Beach Soccer Club kept their chase on Zone 1 leaders Cheetah BSC in the ongoing Ghana Beach Soccer League. They recorded 4-2 in over Teshin United in their matchday 6 encounter. They are on the same point with Cheetah, but Cheetah has more goals.
The clash between Layoka and Teshin United was a local derby. Layoka came into the game on the back of 4 wins and 1 defeat, whilst Teshin were looking to end their wait for a win after recording 1 win, 2 drawn games and 1 defeat. The closely contested match produced 6 goals. Second place, Layoka were sharp up front. They forced the defense of Teshin to commit fouls to their advantage. They converted 4 of their kicks. Teshin, on the other hand, scored 2 on the day to end the encounter by 4-2. The win still keeps Layoka second on the league log, same points as Cheetah, who have superior goal difference. For Teshin, it has pushed them to the 7th place with 5 points. Here are the pairings for match day 7. Nungwa will take on Okre Rangers. Cheetah will face Layoka. Sea Sharks will battle Senior Sharks. Teshin United will welcome Dansoman Beach Soccer Club. Zone 2, Ocean Stars Tegbe will face Keji Miracle. Keji Haveji Mighty Warriors will battle Sunset Sports Keta. Adan Assurance will then lock horns with Voje Iron Breakers. This weekend's fixtures will take place at the Laboma Beach Resort and the Kita Beach Soccer Arena.
Dansoman Beach Soccer Club says they have rediscovered their rhythm and form and are ready to end the first round on a high. They beat Senya Sharks by 2-1 in their matchday 6 fixture in the ongoing Ghana Beach Soccer Premier League. The win has pushed them to the 6th place on the league table in Zone 1.
Senior Sharks in the blue and orange jersey welcomed Dansoman Beach Soccer Club in their matchday 6 fixture in the ongoing Ghana Beach Soccer Premier League. The encounter had loads at stake. For Senior Sharks, a win will do after registering only 2 wins and tasting 2 defeats, whilst Dansoman were looking to build up from where they left off on matchday 5. They recorded their first win and were poised to continue. They were tactical in their approach. Senior Sharks opened the scoring through a penalty kick. Dansoman Beach Soccer pushed for the equalizer and their efforts paid off. They scored from open play. The third quarter, captain of Dansoman Beach Soccer Club unleashed a thunderbolt to beat Sharks goalkeeper. They held on to carry the day by 2-1. The winners pushed them to the 6th position on the league log and kept Senior Sharks at the 5th place. The new coach of Dansoman Beach Soccer Club, Sandy, says they are motivated to win their Week 7 match to end the first round on the high.
So far, so good. We've been able to pull back 2 wins, and we are hoping for more games ahead. But this is a strong message to the clubs out there. They should watch out. We are coming live. We are coming back, and we are going to beat everyone. Well, the only toughest game we will be thinking about is Cheetah Beach Soccer Club, but we hope by then we will be able to finish them.
The team manager of Dansoman Beach Soccer Club, Togbi, is upbeat at their survival in the league.
People have said we will be relegated, but as you can see, today's match, the team have lifted its performance. We've done some shake-up in our technical team, so I think from next week match, we are going to win, and then look for the subsequent matches coming. So we are training very hard and then focus.
The first round of matches ends this weekend at the Laboma and Kita Beach Soccer Arenas.
In news from across our borders, a total of 36 local officials in South Korea are under investigation for the tunnel flooding earlier this month that killed 14 people. An inquiry launched 2 days after the tragedy found that officials had ignored multiple warnings of a flood ahead of the incident. Severe rains on the weekend of July 15 had caused widespread flooding and landslides in multiple places across the country. At least 40 people died in that disaster.
The tunnel located in city of Chungu South or Seoul was flooded with water from a nearby riverbank that had burst from the weekend of torrential rain. 15 vehicles, including a bus, which were trapped in the underpass, submerged under the water with only 9 people surviving. Authorities had to work for several days to free the vehicles. Following the incident, police launched an investigation to determine the cause and found that it could have been prevented. South Korea's Minister of Government Policy Coordination said the flood was the result of numerous agencies failing to recognize the seriousness of the situation and respond actively despite receiving several warnings. 3 calls warning of a possible tunnel flooding were made of the emergency hotlines on the day of the incident. A construction supervisor had similarly warned the authorities 7 times about the possibility that the tunnel would flood. The public officials had been accused of failing to promptly assess and manage the situation.
Former U.S. President Donald Trump is accused of pressuring an employee to delete security footage at his Florida home in new criminal charges related to his alleged handling of classified information. The new indictment adds 1 count of willful retention of defense information and 2 of obstruction, making 40 charges in total in this case. Mr. Trump denies any wrongdoing and has called the prosecution deranged. Hagar Owusu is standing by with some news bits.
Hello, head of basic schools, proprietors and proprietresses. We have good news for you. Do you want to be part of the top-notch schools in Ghana?
If you've just tuned in, don't bother. As long as you're watching the art and entertainment news, you've not missed much. Players in the creative art industry have shared a table to look at collaboration with the communities in the diaspora to transform the film and music industries in Africa. The returned conversation in Accra, they agreed that an action plan must be adopted to support the creative agenda. This and more coming up next. Return conversations on the theme, the role of film and music in uniting the global African family, featured industry players from Jamaica, Brazil, Nigeria, South Africa, Namibia, United States of America, and the Kingdom. The main objective of the conversations is to bridge the gap in creativity between Ghana and the diaspora communities. The Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Tourism Authority, Mr. Akwesi Agyeman, said the creative conversation serves as a platform on which to tell stories from the African perspective. The Deputy Minister for Tourism, Arts and Culture, Mr. Mark Okrekumante, said the ministry will strengthen its partnership with the diaspora communities to develop Ghana's creative art industry.
Give you my word that we are talking to Parliament to give the industry the waivers you are asking for. It is a process. We'll definitely get there soon. Let's try and share ideas so that we can all have a win-win partnership. It is time to grow Africa together.
Some movie makers and artists spoke to GBC News.
Collaboration can be as small or as big. So let's think more and more about that collaboration on that sense, so that Ghanaian talent and Ghanaian filmmakers can get to work on more and more international films. It is happening.
For me, I'm super excited. I already know that I'm going to start doing amazing things by collaborating from right here today to make something great for Ghana film industry.
Play Ghanaian music, first of all, because if we don't have an industry that is strong and resilient, no matter how much conversations we'll have, we'll never move forward.
Education in music is key, is 100%. We need to bring it back in our school systems. We don't have any music business school in Ghana.
They called on all to support the creative art industry.
Police say the death of Sinead O'Connor is not being treated as suspicious following the discovery of her body on Wednesday. The Irish singer and activist, best known for the song Nothing Compares to You, was found dead at her home in South London. London Inner South Corners Court said no medical cause of death was given and an autopsy will be conducted. Meanwhile, hundreds of fans trooped to the London Irish Centre in North London to mourn the singer. What is her name again?
Sinead O'Connor. You know, many people knew the song, but
not the name. That makes a lot of us. It's definitely a mouthful. That's how we wrap up this bulletin. Good afternoon and enjoy the rest of our programs.